Okay, do you let people know that you're not going to come to too much harm, whatever happens? Do you think that they like it when they think you've actually lost 9 million?
Some do, and some are on my side. So it's kind of 50-50. I went to the Astros game last night, and I was walking around the mezzanine, and so many people knew me both from being here in the furniture business and the bets that I took about 3,000 pictures. So the gambling has certainly increased my notoriety, increased the Mattress Mack brand, if you will.
Okay, now this is possibly a question you may not want to answer, but you're betting for promotional purposes. So are you allowed to put these bets in your accounts and take it off your tax?
Well, I work all that out. I have lots of really good tax accountants that work with the state and the government on the tax issues. So that's slightly above my head, but it works very well because I have really good accountants that know how to do the right thing all the time. I don't bet offshore. I don't bet illegally. Everything I bet is with legal U.S. bookmakers.
Okay, now it's a great deal for the customers that were going to buy up to $3,000 worth of stuff anyway. Do you see many people actually taking a punt and doing? I suppose that's what they do. They come and buy from you because they might get it back. Is that how it in essence how it works?
Yeah, quite a few buy from us, and they not only buy 3,000. Some of them have bought as much as $30,000 worth, and then they get 30,000 back. On the Astro thing this year, when the season was just started, the Astros were 10 to 12 underdogs. So for the first 4 months on the Astro promotion, it was 2-1. So if you bought 3,000, you get 6,000 back. So that's a very exciting opportunity for these customers to get double their money back. So that's what's going on in the Astros right now. And we've been doing this for years, had a lot of success with it, and it's part of our brand, part of our advertising program.
Is anybody trying to emulate you and do the same?
They don't have the guts to.
Now, in the UK, betting on horses, football, and stuff is increasingly becoming a bit toxic with the press and some public opinion. What's it? How is it in America? What's it looking like?
It's fine. Everything has to be done with moderation. And the great thing about what I'm doing is the customers cannot lose. If they come to buy a mattress, they get a great mattress that lasts them 10 years for $3,000 and a great night's sleep, 8 hours a night for them and their partner. They can't lose. If the team wins, they get a mattress for free. So there's no I win, you lose in what I'm doing. It's win-win for everybody.
Okay, now I'm talking to you from the UK, so your name's obviously reached us over here. How famous have these promotions made you in gallery furniture in the USA?
Well, I went to the Boston Red Sox playoff games last year against the Astros in the American League Championship Series, and I was amazed that about 90% of the kids under 40 years old in Boston all knew who I was. Last week there was a football game at Texas A&M University against Miami of Florida, and all the kids from Miami knew who I was. So the young kids, 20 to 30, they all know who I am because they see me making these big bets.
Now, I was surprised to read when I was doing my research on you that you're mates with Chuck Norris. How did that come about?
Chuck had a karate program here for young people where it was called Kick Drugs Out of America. Now it's called Kickstart, where he taught karate and self-discipline to young people in the local schools here in the Houston area. I sponsored that early on. And then Chuck said, you want to make a movie? I said, why not? So my wife and I financed this movie called Sidekicks. And that was a big gamble. It cost us about $10 million to finance that movie. And then the financing fell through and we're stuck with $10 million in a can of film. And my wife and Chuck and 4 or 5 other people barnstormed across the country, put the movie in theaters, and we got all of our money back. I learned a lot about the movie business. I learned I should stay in the damn furniture business.
So, do you enjoy the fame and mingling with the stars and the sort of the extra sort of life it's brought to you? This
I enjoy mingling with our customers. My customers are my people. I enjoy mingling with the common people just like me who come in the store. I'm at the front desk 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. I've been doing that for 42 years. And somebody asked me when I'm going to retire. I'm going to die right at the front desk, and I'm going to die happy.
Okay, now you've become a famous businessman for having these massive bets. Has it made it easier for you or harder to get them on since you've become famous?
Depends on which bookmaker it is. Some of them it's become harder. They say I'm a sharp. I'm not a sharp. I did a promotion on the NCAA championships that if a team from Texas won the NCAA basketball championship, you got your money back. And if no team from Texas made the Final Four, the team closest geographically to Houston would be your team. So the team closest geographically to Houston happened to be Kansas, and Kansas won the NCAA championship and gave back $14 million to the customers past April. So they said, you're a bright handicapper. I said, no, it's just they were closest to Houston.
Do you get professional advice, though, to help you choose your bets normally, or do you just pick it all yourself?
I get professional advice from watching the sports shows as I'm in between customers. And, you know, a lot of the times I take the underdog because we get better odds. In other words, we get plus 200 on the underdog versus minus 180 on the favorite. It's a lot better for me and makes the promotion easier. And quite often the underdogs win.
Okay, so how many bookmakers do you need to use on average to get the sort of bets that you need on these days?
Sometimes, depending on how much I'm betting, 2 or 3, sometimes as many as 10. On this Astros thing, I think I have about 6 involved in the total $10 million that I bet to return $75 million.
Okay, I saw an interview with you where the host suggested that professional gamblers in America are a bit annoyed with you because you can get these massive sums on, but they can't. I mean, how bad is the restrictions for punters in America generally?
You know, I hear some bad things about people getting cut off because they win, but I think it's all the way you approach it. And some of these books are confused. They only want losers. Well, winners are what bring more customers to you. So I encourage them to let people win. And if the books aren't winning, they just sharpen their line makers up and present a few less options where they have a better chance to break even. But I think the books definitely have the best of it, and I'm all for letting everybody bet all the time. I know that's not going to happen, but to me, that's the way it ought to be. Give them a chance.
Now you are a very successful businessman, and I'm assuming you had a few quid before you started. You know, you've obviously had a few quid to be able to take the risk you've taken. Wouldn't it be a lot easier just to take a back seat and enjoy your wealth and go to the Super Bowl and stress-free, rather than take these massive gambles?
My wife and I live by this motto: YOLO, you only live once. So we're going to go for it while we're here. Both her and I have a very high tolerance for risk. And, you know, Damon Runyon, a famous U.S. sports writer, said all horse players die broke. I may die broke, but I'm going to die happy.
Brilliant. And finally, Mac, back to those 2 employees that led you to losing $9 million when Denver got beat. Do they still work for you?
I sent them to the Super Bowl. They were at the game, and the game was played in New York, only Super Bowl ever played in New York. And I called them at halftime, and the conversation wasn't very pleasant. And needless to say, when they got back here, they weren't very happy with their prediction, but they worked for me a couple of years after that. Then they went on to other careers, but they're good guys. We're still friends, and we laugh about it all the time.
Brilliant. Well, on that note, Mac, it's been absolutely fantastic to talk to you. Thank you very much for your time, and wish you the best of luck.
If anybody in the UK knows who's going to be in the World Cup finals, my cell number is 281-844-1963. 281-844-1963. Call me and let's make a deal.
Brilliant. On that note, Mac, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks. A lot of fun. Have a good day.
Thank you.